and welcome to the show. We're here today on Forza Horizon 5 with a challenge. This one is all about some more randomness. We like doing kind of random draw stuff. It makes for some interesting challenges and an interesting combination of racing. For this, the horsepower of our vehicle was drawn at random. So people were drawn a horsepower figure between 300 and 1,000 horsepower and then had to build an A-class car to go racing with. So we have down this end of the spectrum, Liam got drawn 304 horsepower. Now he's given a 5 horsepower leeway for the vehicles. Oh, Chris has turned up. Hold on, we'll get to that in a second. We'll come to that in a minute. That Audi's appeared finally. So yeah, Liam's on 304 horsepower. Is driving in an Alpine. We have got Stevie drawn 358 horsepower. The only front-wheel drive here in the Fiesta. There's a lot of noise going on currently, as ever, with everyone parked up. Dangerman has got 383 horsepower. Has gone with an Exige. Gliska has got 432 horsepower at the Ferrari Daytona. Chris, well, we were going to say car hadn't loaded in because Forza was being Forza, and we were going to have a silly ghost phantom car or something to fill the void, but the RS4 has actually pinged into existence. So Chris is here with 591 horsepower. Now, interestingly, of all the numbers of power that could have been drawn, both Chris and Rusky both got 591 horsepower. They've gone very different routes with an RS4 and a Ford GT. I got drawn 645 horsepower, and I'm driving an LFA-engined Mitsubishi GTO, because that may or may not work really well, I'm not sure. Amy got 712 horsepower, is driving the Dodge Daytona. Longbow 737 horsepower is in a Buick on rally tyres, by the look of it. They might even be vintage race on the Daytona. I'm on semi-slicks. There's all sorts of different tyre combinations trying to make it work. We have Blakey with 773 horsepower in the Mercedes Gullwing, and then we have some of the big heavyweights. I mean, these have got quite a lot of power now. You had 856 horsepower in the Jeep that is on some sort of semi-slick tyre, maybe? They're very big tyres, though, on the Jeep. And finally, Speed Beast, 933 horsepower. He's also got an LFA engine in the Toyota Baja truck with big off-road racy tyres. Yeah, it has been an interesting combination of vehicles, combination of things. What's going to work, we're not sure. We're expecting the Exige, the RS4, the Ford GT are probably sensible section. Expecting those to be quick. However, you never know what surprises might come up with races like this. For our first race, we have come to the Horizon Mexico circuit. We are starting mid-pack by the looks of it. Fingers crossed. I feel like we should be. Oh, it's a Trackhawk, not just a Cherokee. It's got the white body kit on. They look bloody same at that stage. I feel like this track might not be too bad for me. We have the semi-slick tyres should be quite good for grip. The GTO is a bit heavy. That is the downside, about £3,500, which in this field is going to be a bit heavy. Okay, sure, there's a couple of trucks and everything. But we are all-wheel drive. We'll have good launch off the line. We'll have good launch off the corners. The Alpine I expect to be immense in terms of handling. This might not be the track for the Alpine, but I'm sure it's going to come good at some of them. Sure enough, the Alpine is very quick through there, but it will struggle when we get out the other side of these corners. We're still all in ghost mode for the moment. It will ping us free now. So the RS4 has got good launch. Very good off the line. It doesn't quite have the top end of the GTO, but that's not going to be a problem in many situations. It seems like it's good. It seems like it's better than me to about 100 miles an hour at least, if not a little bit more. And it has still got the all-wheel drive. Does it turn as well as me? Okay, we can carry more speed through there. I think the answer to that question is yes, it does. I don't think I have an answer. I'm already seeing that RS4 vanish into the distance, and unless we've got a long drag race somewhere where it makes a mistake, not sure I've got much of an answer for it. I can actually be a little bit more aggressive with this car. We've got the Daytona behind us, followed by the Alpine, I think, sat in fourth. How brave can we be through this final corner? That's too brave now. Oh, we're going to clonk the wall. Daytona doesn't. We're going to have to get ready to defend, possibly. Not quite into turn one. Ferrari's a little too far back. Ferrari doesn't... God, Ferrari has a lot of grip. That may well be on slicks, I would think. So yeah, Ferrari doesn't have the straight line speed. It is quite, it's quite low on power. One of the lower horsepower cars. The Daytona would not necessarily be the way I would have gone with the 400-ish horsepower that one's running, but it definitely seems to be working all right. It has got the corner speed, so we're going to just park our GTO on the apex, don't give it anywhere to go, and make it difficult for the Ferrari. Liam's trying to hold back the horde of cars with the Alpine that is very quick through the corners, but is not going to be enjoying the longer straights. What have we got behind that? Mercedes is still clinging on into that. Ford GT is in that group as well. Where is the Ferrari going to go? Where is the Ferrari going to have a look? I think turn 1 is the Ferrari's best. The problem that Gliss got with that Daytona, turn 1 is the Ferrari's best chance, I think. In a long, long corner. But the exit of turn 1 is just a long straight. And the GTO is good there. So we can just get on the power on the exit of turn 1. And it's going to be difficult for the Ferrari to keep ahead, especially if I don't run wide. We have left a little gap on the inside there. The Ferrari really wants to put the nose there, but isn't quite far enough alongside. The Audi's gone. Like I said, I don't think I have the pace. A little bit fighting with Gliska won't help, but just even if we weren't, you know, we're only having to defend in a couple of places. It's not really slowing us down that much. So RS4 way too quick. Liam's out wide, clonks the wall. Daytona's having a look around. We're going to cover the inside because, again, the Daytona can carry some good speed on the outside line. It has got off the corner really well. But we are going to beat it to the next turn once again. We've got to just park it on the apex. Don't do anything silly with the GTO. There we go, get on the power. The Ferrari will get a good exit, I have no doubt. It's a huge battle going on for fourth. Back there. It looks like Liam might have finally been passed by a couple of cars. Poor Alpine struggling with top end. This is a more top end based circuit at the end of the... Well, I say top end based. It's not totally reliant on straight line speed, but if you have a lot of straight line speed, this is one of the tracks that your car is going to work a little bit better on. I mean, it's working well for the GTO. I can't complain too much about this one. We've got a good run through that first corner. The RS4 is unbelievably fast around here. That thing is gone. Oh, I locked the brakes up there. That is not what... I'm glad I had a really good run through the first section there, because I got my braking a little bit wrong. We then locked up mid-corner, and that is not what we needed to do. Come on, GTO. We can do this. The Daytona's going to cut underneath us, and we might be in trouble here. We're going to get a good run down here. Can we try and keep the Daytona on a really tight line? Possibly. Oh, Daytona's locked the brakes up a little bit as well into that one, but we're not going to be able to make that one work. Crap, we're going to have to do something now. We're going to have a really good run through turn 1. Yeah, it came from one little lock-up under brakes. If we can be good through here, the Daytona isn't. The Ferrari's in a little bit of trouble. They got a big slide mid-corner. We can get the GTO back past again, and we're going to now park it on the inside of turn 1. Make the Ferrari do some work on the outside. We've got just a tiny bit of understeer. Mid-corner, we cannot afford any other mistakes here. The Ford GT's got clear in 4th, and that is catching us a little bit here. Where are we going to be vulnerable? I mean, down here is one of the places we have been vulnerable so far. Daytona's looking and looking and looking all the way through there. You can just... I mean, I've been in that situation plenty of times myself, where you have the car with the handling, but you just can't find a way past. And that is the situation that Daytona's found itself in. It's just got stuck. It cannot get past the GTO, because as soon as I can get on the power, we're gone. But we are going to have to be a little bit wary down here with the Mitsubishi. Try and jump on that power. Where is that Daytona? It's just not close enough. There's still Chris looking. I think we've spent more time looking back in this race than we have looking where we're going. Oh, right out towards the wall. We did actually have a really good final corner for the GTO. It's a second place. Pleased with that car, actually. That's it's absolutely no match for the Audi. Whether other circuits it might work out, I don't know. I can't think of a scenario where it's going to beat that. It's going to beat that RS4. I mean, lap times with me and Gliska are pretty much identical. The Ford was starting to catch once he got clear of the traffic, but that was just a little bit too late. That was a really good race. That one. Happy with second. You know, that was a good battle. We head to a rather different circuit for our next race, the Plaza circuit. This is a pretty technical city track. There's a couple of straights for the GTO to be hopefully quite quick in. Chris has changed out of the Audi, and that thing was unbelievably ridiculously fast. And we probably have just won everything, so Chris is going to try something different. Still using the same power figure, though, for this. My GTO shouldn't be too bad here. I mean, low-speed corners is going to have good traction out of course, being all-wheel drive. It is a bit heavy. That might be its downside. I mean, we saw the Daytona was kind of all at the back of us trying to find a way past. I think here, the Daytona will be a little bit better corner speed, but it won't have the traction that the all-wheel drive GTO has. Oh, that corner there is not flat out in this. Whoops. I don't know what I thought it was, but yeah, we will see how it goes, really. With the GTO, Ewan is very nearly met a wall, although the good thing is Ewan can be street sweeper with the big, heavy Jeep, and that can clear all of the crap out of the way. The Alpine's lack of straight line speed is going to be a little bit of a problem for it. I did not intend on getting a pass done on the Jeep. I didn't expect a pass on the Jeep to work there, however... We did get it. We did get the vehicle through. I think Ewan was just sort of keeping out of the way when we realised we're struggling to make that corner at that point. The Alpine's going to have a look around the outside. Okay, that's to be expected. That thing is a lot lighter and will have a lot more grip than I do, but we will outrun it. And because we can use our 600 horsepower relatively well, don't bump on that. We're going to annoy the crap out of Liam, I think, this time around, in making a very wide GTO. Although it has struggled to keep up the hill. It's the two 591 horsepower cars that are leading the way, the GT and the RCF, I think it is, this time around. We're going to pull a gap again to the little Alpine. I mean, we have basically twice, in fact we do have over twice the horsepower of the Alpine. And while we are heavier, we aren't twice the weight. Quite. We're probably not massively far off, but it's now got stuck in a battle with a Danger Man's Lotus, which will likely be quite... good at this track as well, and this is a lot more, I say handling focus. The semi-slicks on this GTO are not too bad at all. That bump there was a little bit nasty. I thought I was going to go visit a wall. Thankfully, we did not. We are the all-wheel drive car, while the lead to a rear, so this is a section where we can maybe make up a little bit of ground. We're not terrible under brakes either, which is helpful. I feel like we're not a million miles off their pace. We're just not quite there. If they could fight one another, that would be really helpful. If they could get stuck in their own little battles for the lead of the race and just, lose a little bit of lap time because they're fighting side by side, that might be how I end up joining that fight for the lead. Otherwise, I'm not sure we've got much in the way of options here. I'm surprised not to see the Daytona, although that did start a long way down on the grid. If you get stuck in traffic around a circuit like this, it's very difficult. This isn't the easiest place in the world to overtake, and it's easy to lose a lot of time behind a car. I don't know what happened to Liam. I don't know whether the Alpine may have missed a checkpoint somewhere around here. It is possible. Quite a few, say, sketchy corners where you can end up getting in trouble. So maybe that is what happened. I'm trying everything I can. Sadly, this time out, we've got ourselves in a little bit of no man's land. We're not quite as fast as the lead two, but we are quicker than the rest of the pack. Or at least we got a clean start and got away from anybody that might be as fast as us further back. Yeah, we just can't. We can't match their pace. Even if they have caught one another, we need them to slow each other down more than they actually are. Blakey's doing well with a high-powered Mercedes around here. I wasn't necessarily expecting this to be a track that the Gullwing would like. It looks like Rusky's going for a dive for the lead of the race there. Sadly, it's been a fairly... Oh, no, it hasn't... It looked like it had been a fairly efficient pass. Chris is fighting back on the outside. That's a long way to go around the outside down here. We need a lot more of that if we're going to catch. In fact, okay, it looks like Chris has got that move done. Okay, that is good news. That is the sort of... I mean, A, we like to watch a good battle between some quick cars, and B, I hope they can do that for another lap and start really costing each other some time. It's the only chance I have of becoming a part of it, especially if I drive like that. I was a little too ambitious there, trying to carry too much speed. through that corner. I don't think they're going to slow each other down enough, especially now Rusky's lost a little bit of time in that exchange. He's going to have to spend the rest of this next lap trying to catch back up again, barring any mistakes from the leader. Going to boop a pylon or whatever it is out of the way. One more lap to go with the GTO. Oh, bloody street furniture. I miss having the Jeep in front. We could have. I want the Jeep as the street sweeper and get all of the bloody lampposts out of the way. That bump is really sketchy in this car. I wasn't expecting. I don't know why particular. I'm on sport suspension, I think, with this. I ran out of PI for race. Maybe there's something in that. Don't normally have problems with, like, cars don't normally feel that bad over those bumps. I don't know what it is with this. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's just a little sketchy. You kind of hit it and you're not sure what the car's going to do. Rusky has caught back up to the Lexus a bit, but I think it's too late. We've had a really good start to this lap. Either we've had a good start to this lap, or both cars ahead have been a little bit slower. Rusky being the faster of the two. Oh, there's another little bobble on its way through there. That's, again, not out of control, just a sketchy moment, a little uncomfortable. Oh, that's going to be wide. Damn it. I've got nothing to really to lose in this. Like I said, we got a little bit of time in terms of trying to get a faster lap. Yeah, the GTO, once again, very close to being incredibly, very close. I say, is competitive, very close to running at the front, just a fraction down for this circuit. We will cross the line. I think it's 26.5 that final lap. I don't know whether it will count because we hit the wall. And sometimes it sort of counts dirty laps in these fastest lap things, sometimes it doesn't. I'm curious to see how that compares to, I think, Lexus-wise. Oh, it's close to the Exige and the Trackhawk, entertainingly. Yeah, okay, so lap time-wise at the end there... I think, do it. Was it 26.5? Yeah, it was 26. Never mind. Ignore me. I thought... Yeah. I thought it was 25. It wasn't. Lap time there is close to the Lexus. The Ford a little bit quicker. Yeah, really interesting matchup going on there. Sadly, I was a little too far back to really get involved. But again, another solid podium for the GTO. We were well clear of fourth. It's not been a terrible build. What are we going to get from the wheel spin? I'm going to guess nothing exciting because it's... Oh! Not exciting at all. For our next race, we are running a point-to-point event. Oh, and I'm pretty much at the back. Okay, so while there are some circuits that kind of work for power cars, generally speaking, point-to-point races, you're going to want more top speed than you do handling. In theory, this should work for the high horsepower cars. I mean, I will say mine is towards the higher end of the power spectrum, perhaps, in this. I feel like my car should be quite good overall. It's also not crazy, because it's quite heavy. It's actually quite tame. I'm hoping, like, the acceleration isn't great. I'm hoping it might have some half-decent top speed when it gets going properly. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, also, the two of the highest power vehicles we have here are Jeeps and SUVs, and so they kind of, don't really count, but the Trackhawk might have a lot more power than me, but it's a brick, so it's kind of not going to be able to use it. I think the 591 horsepower twins are going to still probably be the ones to beat, and the GTO is still going to be quite strong. There are still some corners, there are some quite high-speed corners, so some of the lower-powered cars might actually be able to maintain momentum quite nicely here, like Danger Man's Exige, for example. There's also an element of inexperience from a lot of us, because I don't know these circuits. Oh, like that, for example. Me and Blakey went and did the same thing. I thought I had the grip to get away with that. I did not. We're going to get back past the Daytona, though. Well, any chance of continuing our podium streak is gone, I think, without there being a mistake from somebody up ahead, which is not impossible. Danger Man's actually done a good job of chasing down the top two in this. The Exige is not too bad at all. We're going to have a little bit of a lift. Don't get too much understeer, as Gliska almost ended up in trouble out there. Got away with it. Come on, GTO. Use the 600 and something, 40 whatever horsepower Howling V10 to propel us towards a little Alpine. We're going to go to the outside of that. We should actually be past here, no problems. We can probably run flat through here. Not sure how much we have to slow down for this corner. That kind of works for me. I can just hear the buzz of an Alpine as it's looking to try and maintain its speed through that next corner. Can we go after Gliska? Can we find a way past that Ferrari? After such a good first race, we didn't really get to see the Daytona in the second. I'm trying to carry all of the speed I can through here without ending up in a wall or something. This next corner is going to be critical, I think. If I can carry good speed through here. Daytona is getting some understeer. I'm following it. I'm all-wheel drive. I'll just keep the throttle down. It's going to be a drag race to the line here. Who is going to have the speed to do it? There's going to be a little GTO-sized gap. We're just going to outrun the Daytona. Only just. We will cross the line and take a 4th place in that one. The other Daytona, the Dodge, was catching a little bit, I think, towards the end there as well. Ooh. Yeah, I beansed up a little. Again, I don't know. I don't think I quite had the measure of. Again, the top two. Those cars very, very quick. If I hadn't made a mistake, we might have been a little bit closer. We might have stood a chance of getting on the podium. Again, the GTO is strong. My driving let it down a little bit there. Well, we head into our final race, and someone else is going to win this one because Chris disconnected while loading. So, ooh, I have a good spot on the grid for this. It is raining, which should possibly play into the hands of the GTO. That being said, the rain doesn't make a huge difference. I also don't know how the rain affects cars on slick tyres. Whether you're running rally tyres, you might fare a little bit better. Not sure. I genuinely don't know on that one. I keep meaning to do an investigation. I've never got around to it. This track itself might not lend itself too badly to the GTO. I've got to worry about the Ford. I mean, the Ford is the car I'm most concerned about. It has been consistently very fast. It's not been always that much faster than me, but it has definitely been consistently a quick car. So that is one we're going to have to watch out for. This track is a little bit more technical than some of the others, which plays slightly into my hands in some regards because of that all-wheel drive traction. I'm against 2 rear-wheel drive cars. So the low-speed acceleration zones we have under control, but they are both lighter and better handling than me, so they can get changed direction. Although if they fight each other, that then plays into my hands. We'll see how this all pans out. That's a lot of understeer through there. I'm glad they were too far back. Oh, they've bumped into one another anyway. Oh, that's way quicker through there. That could be a lot quicker. I've got to remember this bloody circuit. And we have got to watch out for the Alpine. That is likely to enjoy this circuit as well. That is, you know, very down on power compared to a lot of the vehicles, but it's light, it's very good handling. We might end up having to annoy an Alpine if we're going to stand a chance of continuing to lead this race. We'll just have to park a very wide GTO on every apex and boot it out of the corner and hope my traction and acceleration is enough. This is going to rely on me not making any mistakes around here, which is always easier said than done. We can make a wide GTO and we can make it difficult to pass. Because again, we get to this little section here and this is where we can then pull away. But I can't afford that big understeer off towards the wall again. We won't get away with that too many times, and I don't know how fast I can be through here. Not as fast as the cars behind me, I can tell you that much. And here they come, down towards turn 1. Make the Exceed go the long way around. A little bit concerned about if I fight the Exceed, the Alpine's going to try and sneak past both of us. But it could help me, and that the Alpine could distract the Lotus, and they end up fighting. The Ford's involved. Stevie's even brought the Ford into the battle. The Fiesta ST has turned up. This really is the low horsepower car. So I mean, it was always likely to be. This is a lot more technical a track here. But again, I can just pull that gap down here. This is the section that we like in the GTO, and this next section I quite like as well. If I don't get too much understeer, because we can just boot it and go out the other side, and it can just build us that little gap. It's not a big enough gap, really. We're going to be under threat at the final corner. Kind of roll the car in there. The Lotus wants to carry more speed. I simply can't in this. We've got to be careful through this change of direction, but we can make it difficult. We can continue to make a very wide GTO. down towards turn 1 we go. The Lotus is going to try the whole way around the outside. It might make it stick. Unfortunately for me, it's there. I think it's done it. I think we didn't quite roll in with enough speed through that section. It's always a danger if we defend the inside too harshly. It's always a danger that we're going to end up that, and then we try and fight it the wrong. Well, we're going to get stuck the wrong side of the Exige. We're going to end up stuck on the wrong side of the Alpine here as well. The Alpine slides through. I can't get on the power. I can't accelerate quick enough to beat it there. There is a little gap. There is a gap for a GTO to get through, and we will park it on the inside. And, well, the Lotus may have escaped. The Alpine has not. We will go back to defensive mode. The Ford's back into the fight now. The Alpine's going to have to do a similar move to the Lotus, or I can just get it wrong through here on my own. We'll go for that one too. That is always possible. Yeah, the thing the Lotus has got the advantage over the Alpine is the Lotus is just a little bit quicker accelerating, although the Lotus has made a little bit of a hash of this next section. I feel like the Alpine, in fact Lotus made a really bad fire lap. The Alpine might be the quickest car around this track, but it's so ensnared in traffic that it can't really use make the most of its grip. It has got the move done though. Danger Man's really poor final lap has put the Lotus in some trouble, but now the Alpine's in trouble as well. They might both be in trouble from a GTO if we had a longer start-finish straight. We don't, and I've made a mess through there. I mean, if they manage to mess it up for each other, we could pounce and capitalise on something, but we are not quite close enough. Danger Man almost lost the second place. Great final lap from Liam. Yeah, Danger Man should have made a little mistake, and the Alpine pounced. That would have been a very frustrating race for Liam for a lot of it, because that was a very quick car stuck in a lot of traffic. But it worked out all right in the end. Jeez, look at those lap times between the Exige, the GTO, the Ford. I got a little bit better at the very end there, annoyingly. The Ferrari was there in 5th as well, very close in terms of speed. And the Fiesta fell back a little bit at the end there. Had caught up to the group, though. Then we have the Gullwing, the Buick, the Hummer, the Trackhawk, and the Daytona. We saw the Daytona parked up. So, there we go. That was a good race as well. Enjoyed that one. I tried my very best. Tried to make a wide GTO, but it just wasn't quite enough. But I got to say, this was interesting. This was good fun. Ultimately, these really handling circuits, the low-powered cars, were the ones that were going to be, I say, victorious. But if you only had 300 horsepower to work with, you were going to build a car that was going to be full, slick, crazy handling builds. To get it to the top of A-class, that was the way you were going to make some lap speed. I feel like my GTO was pretty good overall. I mean, this was a solid podium car for a lot of it. On the bigger track, I mean, the 591 horsepower cars, they seem to be the best overall, but we could put up a really good fight with this GTO. It worked just about everywhere. It's never quite the very fastest car. It's never going to be dominant and run away, but it proved quick in a number of places, which I'm pleased with. Yeah, I didn't know how an LFA engine GTO was going to go, but the answer was, yeah, way better than I expected. So, yeah, this was a fun thing to do. You had to kind of think about how you're building your vehicle and what vehicle you started with as well, like your base vehicle before you started, trying to work to your power number. Always entertaining, always good fun. That, though, shall be it from me. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.